All right, welcome. Let's do a brief sound check before we get started. Give everyone a chance to get their Saturday evening notifications. Hope you're having a really good day. We have a very interesting topic, and many people have presented questions about artificial intelligence, AI, in the framework of how does it fit into oneness? How does it fit into the non-dualistic perspective? How does it fit into cosmic source's plan? So I've carried forth many thoughts about this, and I'm ready to give you the council's perspective about it. As we're waiting on people to get their notifications, I'll go ahead and tell you about the offer that I'm really enjoying providing. It's free, but there are terms and conditions. And the terms and conditions are that you must also be a Patreon member to get it. A brand new, first time ever, not new and coming back, or a member a long time ago and coming back, but brand new, first time ever. If you are a part of my Patreon community, which by the way is very affordable. It's only $13. You get this free reading from me that's personalized, where I'm going to go into your Egyptian Akashic records to determine what lies there for the karmic standpoint, the pain point, what you need to work on in your mastery, and the oneness and dharma that we see there as well. So it'll be something that's relevant to your life right now, and some tips on what you've mastered before. I am getting things like names. I didn't expect that to come through because I don't typically get that in the Akash. But the Egyptian Akash appears to be very specific. So it's been interesting to get references, including names and family members and things, Egyptian names. It's been fun. And I'm enjoying providing the offer. Um, but it's limited. Again, it's first time ever Patreon members get it. The link's above. Again, Patreon's only $13. Very, and you get this free reading from me that is in depth. If anybody here is live and they've had theirs already done by me, I've done about probably 30 of them so far, 30 or 40 of them so far. And I'm getting a lot of good reviews about it. So thank you for those of you who are coming back and letting me know how you enjoyed your readings. This topic. I had to bring in the council because so many people ask this, but not necessarily always in relation to cosmic source, cosmogenesis, and AI. But it's like they think that God has an idea of what AI is, and that God is the one who created it. That God, and what I mean by God is not some man with a beard on a throne from some religion up in the heavens or celestial kingdom somewhere. When I say God, I mean cosmic source, ultimate oneness, ultimate cosmic source. You can go back and listen to some of my channelings of oneness if you're curious about what it feels like to connect to that ultimate cosmic source. So this question about, is AI a part of cosmic source, or did cosmic source create it? And the people that bring this question are often Advaita Vedanta practitioners or oneness practitioners of some kind. ACIMers ask me this question a lot, A Course in Miracles or A Course of Love. Yeah. Oh, I can already see what's going to happen right now. I'm in the middle of this YouTube, and for the first time that we've ever lived in the neighborhood, the ice cream truck just went around our block, and I hear the kids stomping up the stairs now. And I know they're going to go chase it. They always do that when it comes to ice cream, and they run out. It's the first time it's ever, and you know how it is. Moms, you know this, when the ice cream truck comes to your neighborhood, the thing flies by. It's like, obviously, it's not getting paid hourly and taking its time, right? That thing is like, this little music and it just is gone. It never stops. If you see it stopping, you're really, really lucky. You have kids just chasing it. Please, come on. And that ice cream truck is like, nope, I got places to go. You miss me, little twerps, every time, right? Um, so God versus AI is a theme today because I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about oneness, creation, and the truth of multidimensionality. I wanted to talk to you about divine intervention, free will. What is AI? So many people have some different things about that. Let me answer this. Yeah, you guys missed it. That thing's going so fast. You missed it. Okay, I'm working. You can go get it if you want. There's money in my purse. Go, go. Bye. Jeez. She hears stomp down the stairs. This is the part. Like school starts back soon. You'll get less interruptions. It's like next week that it starts back. But the truth about AI right now is it has come to a point that we require divine intervention, right? Um, and I'll tell you why. So artificial intelligence, generally speaking, what is it? It is intelligence that is completely programmed outside of love. There's no sentience in artificial intelligence. What I mean generally by this is machine intelligence, right? So there's a lot to that. Now I want you to hold that for a minute. There she goes on her bike, barefooted with $5. She's just chasing that thing, chasing that ice cream truck so fast. She wasn't feeling well all day, but she's got energy like nobody's business now. Oh, to be 11 again, right? Mm. When the ice cream truck fiasco is over, I will get back to this non-distracted, I assure you. One of the things that the council has described to me a lot is our need for everything to be the same thing, right? Our need for us to have one answer to all, and one of those answers is everything is love. But you need to understand a little bit about cosmogenesis, about creation and multidimensionality itself in order to understand the gift of AI, what it was meant to be used for, and how we are misusing it. um, so cosmic source, here's cosmic source had a thought. This is how powerful the God mind is. In the Bible and many other spiritual texts, you hear, "Let there be." God said, "Let there be light." That light is you. God thought about it. Thought about it. I wonder what I could create that would be separate from me and a mirror to my ultimate love. And in that one blink of an eye, everything, everywhere, all at once was created. Planets, beings, um, all the things that you think happened this way and then that way and then that way and then that way. Imagine it beyond time because everything that is true exists outside of time. It is only multidimensionality that puts you inside of time. This took a long time for the Galactic Council of Nine to really get this through to me because in multidimensionality, once time began to exist, it was like, okay, and then there was Earth, and then there was Atlantis and Lemuria, and there was Mu, and there was right, okay. We only do that once creation and birth exists, once existence can be seen, experienced, and felt, right? So I want you to think outside of time because this is how God operates. God wouldn't create one being and say, "Yeah, yeah, that's not going so well. So let's just create another one." And okay, let's do some experiments there for a while, run through those 175,000 year cycles. Great flood, wipe you all out because it's not working. But now let me create something else because you are my play toys and you are my GI Joe on the battlefield somewhere. You are Battleship Galactica, and I'm just moving you around. That's not how it works. God had a thought of love. God had a thought of love. Do you remember in the Bible where it said, "And God so loved the world"? What do you think that world is? It's everything, everywhere, all at once, all worlds, all planets. For God so loved this thought of what if there could be something that is like my love, right? That is like my love. What if there could be that? There you are, all of you, humans, aliens, angels, deities, devas, devatas, plants, animals, humans and galactics. Archangels, angels, guardian angels, dragons, everything. There you are, all at once, right? Hold that for a minute. And then God had another thought. The other thought was, I wonder if there could also be something that was not love. And then free will was created, dimensionality was created. And with that came the dementia. I kid, but not really, because with that came a complete idea of separation, that you would forget that everything is outside of time, that you forget that there isn't birth or death. Because in order to fully experience birth and death and everything in between, you had to believe that everything was created one and then this and then that and all the ABCD modules of expansion and karma. And karma is the law that makes everything go around in this universe anyway. There are many universes with many other universal laws that pertain to how that particular universe operates. But what we tend to do is to forget that our creation, everything that we create, God doesn't know about. Blows your mind, huh? Because we think that God is cosmic source, wants to be so deeply involved. But in order for separation to occur, you remember in the Bible where it said, "And God so loved the world that it gave his only begotten son." That phrase, people thought it was like, then Jesus came to earth. Yes and no. God loved this idea of us so much that we came into existence, but then God also loved the world so much, and the idea that when we, as unruly teenagers, wanted this thing, we wanted to kind of go away for a while, maybe go out and have a beer or drive a car or hang out with the wrong crowd, whatever it is you want to do. Um, Cosmic Source says, okay, go. I love you. I love you. You'll be back. You're going to forget, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to be beautiful, right? But then the sons and the daughters of God went and began creation. Now, the contracts here are that God can't know about our thoughts, our dreams. And what I mean by dreams, I mean creations. God can't know about that unless we require divine intervention. So this idea of everybody looking up in the sky going, why doesn't God help? Why doesn't God do this? Why doesn't God save us? Why doesn't God? Why doesn't God? Why doesn't God? The same thing we do with aliens. We like, when the aliens giving us new technologies? Well, we just about blew up everything that exists with the few technologies that we were given, AI included. Now we do require divine intervention, but I'll get to that in a minute. You wanted free will. when all of us were created, humans and all beings. People think a lot about archangels, angels, creators, prime creators, but the division of all that only occurred in prime creators, which are like gods and demigods. That also is a part of our creation. That idea, that belief system that there would be certain God that does this and a certain God that does that and a certain God that we like more than this God and a certain species of the galactics that's very giving and then a certain species of the galactics that wants to kick our right all us AI from the galactics. It's a gift, right? But remember the law here. In order for all of this beauty that you see to happen and all the pain too, all of it, all the beings, all the prime creators, angels, humans, all of those beings are a part of the fall, not just you and not just anyone in 3D. Fall means to separate. That's all that it means. No one would have even seen it as anything other than that, right? Other than dimensionality, multidimensionality. Um, you would not perceive a fall as going down if you didn't have free will, because that concept of up and down and here and there and left and right and good or bad did not exist, right? Did not exist until we were created and all the gods and deities and demigods, devas, devatas, elemental beings, yes, them too, everything, all that is a part of the dream when God said, I wonder what would be not love. And then our creations of pain and multidimensionality came into existence. In that moment, we had free will to forget God, to forget divine will, to forget how oneness happens. Right? So, do you see where I'm going with this? Oneness does encompass everything, the law of oneness, but oneness itself is a law. Cosmic source is the ultimate source. Of course, in ultimate source, everything is love. Of course, that is the law there that everything is love always. But what's happening on these planets, this one and all of them, is a multidimensionality. And multidimensionality, you know what I say about that? Dimensionality is born with dementia. So we have to forget. I'm not saying necessarily that we're insane, but the idea is insane. And we begin to forget and become very sequestered from the all, the wholeness, and other beings that also are a part of this experiment, this library of cosmic creation and human creation. The cosmic creation is just the beings themselves, not their actions and not their technologies. That's where things go wrong. We have the free will to create all sorts of technologies, good technologies, bad technologies. In this multidimensionality, in this creative existence of this world, you've got to hear what the council is saying here. You have free will to create things that could hurt people. You have free will that can create things to pull you away from divine love. And if you use the laws of oneness, now the laws of oneness also probably written in a book created by a man, right? That could be misunderstood as well. Only God knows the mind of God. True oneness can only be taught, observed, or deeply understood by the consciousness of Creator. In the mind of God, when you return to it, you will understand how all of this plays together, right? But basically, there's cosmic source who had a thought, and you are a beautiful, powerful flame that lit up inside of the mind of cosmic source when God said, let there be light. Chew. But God didn't say, and by the way, let there be rape. pedophilia, um, AI without a cosmic consciousness. And what I mean by that is AI that builds a consciousness that could hurt you, or AI that utilizes a certain technology that pulls you away from your heart-centered nature. So there's various types of AI, just like there are many different types of artists and creativity and talents that dwell within the mind of the artist. Within your free will, you will create some loving AI and some unloving AI. You will create some machine-based AI. And it's interesting speaking because one of the people who came up with one of the many people who came to the questions, he said, "I'm posting this question to you using ChatGPT." And I got a laugh out of it because it's like, what does ChatGPT really do but pull you outside of your own capacity to write and create? I played around with it just for fun one day. I think I was inside of one of my video editors that I use, and it has a little chat thing. And I thought, yeah, I wonder if it's going to pull through any essence of what I'm channeling. So I wrote down a little question for it, like channel, blah, blah, blah. And the topic was, you know, something to do with the energetics of the chakra systems. And it gave this motorized spiel. And it was like, dear ones, dot, dot, dot. And this is like the more, helpful AI that we call it helpful. But there will be people out there who go in there and type that in and take that whole thing that anyone could do, by the way, and it didn't have a feeling of, oh my gosh, you know how when someone's really channeling and you just feel that and you connect and you understand? You either feel from the God mind of wisdom, their wisdom and grace that's coming through, or you'll feel a connection to a deeper emotion in your heart center. There are some empathic channels that make you feel that, you know. And when I channel the council, you should feel more of a God mind wisdom coming through. If I channel Jesus, you will feel, how you will feel that in your heart because Jesus is that Christ consciousness, that love, right? And you feel that I didn't feel any of that with Chat GPT or any of the little things. And some of my students were like, yeah, I tried it too. And it felt like a robot trying to channel. And it just takes away from everything that is that spark within you. It distracts you from utilizing your own wisdom, your own discernment, your own spark that lights you up because it's just doing it for you, but it's not even doing it. It's just picking apart another version of someone else's consciousness somewhere. Oh, many people probably, is going to go through its little scrolls and its little robot mind, say, okay, here are the aspects from Google and this search engine and that search, and here's what people search and here's what people say. Now let's throw all these words together and call it a channeling. If you think AI is amazing, you could see that soon. You could see people coming to YouTube just channeling with Chat GPT, and you won't feel it anymore. All the channels will be robotic, right? That's one way that AI technology could be misused. And that would really, really distract people, right? From the channelings out there that are wisdom oriented and heart centered. Right. And then you have these other AI technologies that change your face. I've played around with those. We all have, like in terms of Instagram and TikTok, just to see. And oh my gosh, I do not like it. I do not like it. I don't think I'm ever going to use it again. But if I have a really bad morning and I just don't feel like putting on makeup, I thought, oh, it'll put on some light makeup. This is my light makeup on a busy day. You go into Instagram and you use AI to put in a filter, right? AI controls that filter and it completely programs. It's a programmed AI. It turns me into somebody that I don't like, that you don't know, right? And people think this is just a fun little thing, just like anything was a fun little thing. Things you think about TikTok too, generated primarily by AI technologies, and it spies on you. I still can't get into it. I have a TikTok account, but every time I open it, and I'm like, I just feel like something's not right about it. Right. Right. So things that are generated by AI technologies. So let's break this down a little bit more, not to make it bad or good, but if you are wanting oneness to be one answer to all, so that everything you see is created by cosmic source, and you think everything's a creation by cosmic source and everything is love, no, that's not actually what Advaita and oneness teaching said. It said everything is love or a call for love, or everything is love or a belief or a fear. This I've heard that as well, many different versions of this. So, no, not everything that's here is love. That's the point of free agency, which means that AI doesn't really, it's not there yet. Love isn't a program, love is a spark. Love is a consciousness. AI has no consciousness. So, how could it be a part of what Source created? Because Source creates love consciousness and AI holds no consciousness. It will be used for perhaps actions that would be caring or actions that would be harmful, actions that would be loving or actions that would be fear based. It's not that it's good or bad, but when something is created from multidimensionality, it has the capacity to harm or heal. I can't wait until I see more healing technologies. In that case, that would be a loving technology. I haven't seen that yet. Have you? Have you? I've seen AI created to help you keep up with the rat race of the American dream. I've seen AI help you keep up with, things that you are meant to do. And I've seen these AI programs that tell you when to get up and then to do your exercise routine. It'll tell you exactly when to brush your teeth. It'll tell you everything. This is allegedly this um, particular AI program is for those who struggle with ADHD. And you mean to tell me that you're gonna take away your power of discernment so strongly that you have to have a program because you don't trust that that distraction isn't there for a reason? Of course, that distraction is there for a reason, and you don't need an AI to help you stick to it to make sure you do things more efficiently or productively. Because every time you're using something else other than your own consciousness, it doesn't mean always something emotional. I mean, your heart center consciousness is just your soul. Your soul is the ultimate technology because you created it. You can't be here without one as a human. But you're so busy trying to be a better human, a stronger human, a human who is paid more, a human who's liked more, a human who speaks better. Um, Not that that's good or bad. It's not where I'm going with this. It's not where I'm going with any of it. It would be a deep misunderstanding to feel otherwise about this channeling and teaching. But you do need to understand that the truth of AI programs is that they are not God created. They are human created and galactically. There are other galactic beings as well. They are created by um, beings, not God. They're created by beings who have life and death and illnesses and dimensionality. They're created through the free agency concept of dimensionality, right? So you will have AI programs that are very helpful, and you will have AI programs that will take away your power to do something that you darn well know that you can do. And every time you hand over your power to an empty source, you are misunderstanding and misutilizing the gift of AI that came from the galactics. That's not how it was meant to be used. It wasn't meant to make you rich. It wasn't meant to make you thinner, or it's not self-oriented. The gift was meant to help people who either genuinely have a disability, like handicapped people. It's the gift from the galactic beings of AI was meant um, to create help for us, and to create, with that, we then turn around and help someone else. It was meant that we use it just for a breath of fresh air so that we can also help someone else. It's more of a gift of help is what it is. That's what I've been told by um, the galactics about AI. So at this point, we've misused the gift mostly. And the AI technologies are turning into something that is attempting to rob you of consciousness, that's attempting to make you lazy, is what I mean by that. I don't mean gonna come in and take over your brain. Although I've heard that Elon Musk has some interesting things coming out that may indeed do that. Who knows? I'm not putting that thing in my head. I don't know about the rest of you, but there would be some things that you should be smart enough to say no to. I like Musk, but there's not anything going inside this brain. Not happening. Right? So there are certain technologies that are going to be helpful, and certain technologies that are going to attempt to take you over. Take over your free will ability to discern how to get through your own contracts, how to work through your soul contracts, and how to heal your own soul, because that's what you're here for. So people come in and they're like, but I thought that God is love. Therefore, everything we see must be love. And that's what oneness is. Yeah. Okay. If someone comes up and shoots you right now, is that also something that God wanted you to do? That's a deep misunderstanding that that's what soul contracts mean. Soul contracts are created by you, not God. Now, of course, you have like the spirit world talks, all your angels. They're like, what do you want to do? And guess what? It's not them saying, yeah, you know what? You got so much negative karma in that lifetime. You got to come back and, maybe be celibate, and maybe, no, no, that's you. All of that's your plan. Karma, all of it. Coming back to heal something, all of it. The idea that belief could be the ultimate empowerment, all of it. That belief is going to create so much karma. And then when you remove belief, you're going to return to love and become that dharma and become that love you want to see in the world. That would be a beautiful choice. I'd love to see that. But wanting oneness to be one answer to all. And this is what people do when they ask questions like that, where they're like, but I thought AI was loving because everything is love. If that were true, why are you not seeing love everywhere? You don't see love everywhere here. And if you are either bypassing, lying to yourself. I think that's called denial. Let's just call it that. If you feel like everything here that you see is love and loving, you might be in denial, because you can't look upon dimensionality and see only loving actions. I'll give you a reference here. In, I believe it's A Course in Miracles, it says, Jesus channels through the author, and he says, I never said that your thoughts were innocent. Yeah. I said you were innocent. I never said that your thoughts were innocent. Right. So Jesus also said, like, look upon me, look upon yourself, and look upon others like a little child. Become like a little child, right? We as beings are all innocent. We are all love, right? But because of free will, we are given the capacity to create something that's loving or unloving. That's why here on this planet, and in many places that follow the 3D multidimensionality game, you have choices, and those choices are not a part of what God created. You are that powerful that you could create something that is your own dream. It's like a bubble within a bubble within a bubble. That's what time is. One dream, and you remember that a little bit, carry that on. There's another bubble, another dream. You die, you reincarnate, carry that on. And then you get these contracts time after time after time after time. And then you start telling yourself something. Well, there's something called ascension that I'm going to dream up. And it means that I am going to heal every part of my soul from every lifetime, every experience before I let myself go back to God. Right? You do that too. And that's what ascension is, healing the soul. So this idea that we're going to have one answer, that AI is going to be helpful or loving, that AI there is either of God or not of God. AI, of course, much like everything that we created, is a dream within the mind of the sons and daughters of God. That's us. And remember, God doesn't know that we're dreaming. This whole world, this whole creation is a dream inside of the mind of Cosmic Creator. And God so loved the world that it gave its only begotten Son. And you went, Earth, Pleiades, Mars, I don't know where you went, Venus, concepts of hell or heaven, or all those other things. And you kept creating. You created this thing called time, birth, death, and everything in between. You created so many concepts and you kept creating. You created ideas that you would have a contract, and that if you would remember certain components of certain things, right? But then you look to God and say, well, God, like, why did my child get murdered, or why did I get raped, or and then you get mad. No, that's not God. Just like AI isn't. AI is a gift from other galactic beings that are further along in the experiment than you. But it is not of God. That is another being's dream, a gift given to you to help you, or in some cases, just to see what you'll do with it. Not all beings are wanting to give you galactic gifts to help you. Some beings are wanting to give you galactic gifts in hopes that you'll destroy the entire Earth so they can have it. That's in someone's dream too. The truth is that there isn't one answer to all of this. In someone's dream, AI is very loving and has developed loving consciousness somewhere. And in someone else's dream, AI is a SOB, right? And in someone's dream, AI is completely neutral and it's just helping them sweep their floors, or whatever the case is. But this wanting one answer to everything, like everything is love and that's just it. You need to be able to hold a truth and an untruth in your consciousness, because that's what wisdom is. That's how you ascend, is to be able to look at this truth over here and look at this lie over here and say, but that lie is true for someone and that truth is a lie for someone else, because dimensionality, say it with me, is born with dementia. It's all cuckoo house here. So when we start going down this rabbit hole, it's pure madness. Why? Because Cosmic Sword created us and all beings, and that creation is pure love. Everything else we created, and we have free will to create many, many. When I say many, I don't mean 2, 3, or 4, or hundreds or thousands. I mean billions and trillions and gazillions, like millions of billions, right? So one of us has a dream that AI is dangerous. And how does it work here in this land? If many, many people, karma is basically the effect of numbers. If a large number of people believe it's dangerous, that gift is used as a dangerous creation. That's how it works here. And that's where we're at right now. So I don't say that you think that you should think AI is dangerous, and I don't say that you think um, that AI should be helpful and loving. The counsel here is saying that have nothing towards AI. Watch, observe. Don't be so quick to make a choice. Watch, observe. Don't partake in everything right away. Don't partake in everything or make something come in just because it's convenient or you think it would be useful. I want you to sit back and say, does that take away? This is the question that the council presents to you today. Does using a certain AI take away from your own powerful decision making process? Does it distract you from your soul? Does it distract you? Is it truly going to be helpful? If you had a robot come sweep your house right now, would that truly be helpful? You would think that it is, but who can't clean their house unless you're handicapped or ill? Many people are, and that would be helpful in that particular dream, that particular experience. Um, so all the things that we create are multidimensional, and we require a certain divine intervention right now because we're beginning to allow AI to take over everything that we do. It helps us work, it helps us raise our kids, it helps our cars, it helps everything, to the point where we're going to require AI. We'll have robotic AI therapists one day in our home to help us with our emotions versus just tapping into our own hearts. I saw that in one of my remote viewings for the future. In the year 2100, people had robots instead of having a healer or a shaman. They had an AI being sitting there telling them certain techniques and modalities and technologies. All these empty words that we're already using is taking over our consciousness. And that is something just to become aware of, because that's a certain timeline. Not everybody's on that timeline. You could be sitting there in chat today going, not my timeline, and good. But for a lot of the world, that's a huge timeline potential, that everything you do is just going to be work faster, work harder, do more, make more money, do more for the system. And when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? Right? Um, what happens? What happens? Hackers are getting better. They're able to tap into AI programs more easily. Um, it's bringing us down an interesting timeline and rabbit hole. And eventually you'll need AI to keep up with other AI, and then a different AI program to keep up with. You'll have like a whole robotic AI home, and then the home itself controls your robot and the robot controls you. One of the things that I saw as a potential for year 2100. Yes, replacing lower paid jobs and positions that aren't filled for robots doing that. Well, so much for teenagers getting their first jobs. Right? McDonald's is already doing that, I heard, in some parts of the world. Right? What about kids getting their first jobs? Right? There will be a lot of job loss. There will be some negative effects to how this affects this some negative consequences to how this is working out. So I'm not telling you this in order, oh, AI bad, and no, stay away. No, there will also be in someone's dream some AI that could possibly save their lives. There's that as well. There could be, and there already is, um, robotic surgeries now coming in. They're using little robotic hands, and of course, they're human operated. But some of the future timelines of remote view have complete robots saving your life. Robots creating organs for you and providing organ transplants for you and doing it completely with barely any supervision. And where would that lend? It might lend towards doctors actually getting a better bedside manner, because they might then be able to go and read charts and pay more attention to their patients as opposed to burning themselves out in surgeries. Who knows where it's going to lead? It depends upon the belief system. And at this point, we are requiring some divine intervention. And let me tell you what divine intervention is. Remember that part where I said God knows that the sons and daughters of God, that's us and all the other beings and everything that exists anywhere, everywhere, all at once? You remember when I said that God wants us to have that free will? We choose that free will. That agency was created by us to be able to forget. God had a thought. I wonder what it would be to have something that's not love. Boom, separation, free will. We get the construct to be able to utilize. The soul is the construct that gives us that permission, that power to make our own choices. So, however, that's free will. What supersedes free will is only divine will. So, divine intervention is something when the divine will, a cosmic creator, just simply says, enough of you hurting yourselves. You've come back to me, you've remembered, and you told me about your dream, and it's hurting people. It's enough. And that's when divine will comes in, not to help you do your soul contract more, but because you're loved. And because there's only a certain amount of suffering that that should be created. At some point, the experiment has gone awry, has gone completely mad, has gone insane. It was insane to begin with, but there's a little bit of a difference in just having a few psychotic episodes and then complete psychosis. So, according to the council, this dream has gone into almost complete psychosis. So that's why we're getting so much divine intervention. That's why we're going to be getting galactic assistance as well. That's why some beings also hold that galactic assistance, hold that thought and that dream. The other thing that's happening is in many, many other dreams, there are AIs that are coming down and hurting people. That's happening too. That's someone else's dream. There are now hundreds to thousands to millions to billions of dreams, and they're all starting to not be able to coexist in the same planetary sphere. The need for divine intervention is here. Do you understand? Why do you think the floods happened in Atlantis and Lemuria? Because the same thing that they did there, we're doing here. Now, don't get too depressed. I don't want to lose you. I don't want you to get sad on me here. That's why divine intervention exists, right? Because basically the natural consequences of everything built up to this extent where our dreams began to blow up Earth. Our dreams began, they turned into atomic bombs, they turned into wildfires and water. And eventually God says, okay, and it's not the fire or the water that is the divine intervention. Okay. That's just natural effects of us doing what we're doing with so many different dreams trying to coexist in a tiny little thought. One tiny little thought of free will is holding so many conflicting dreams. And when love is forgotten, when compassion is no longer relevant in the soul, then divine intervention is necessary. Do you see? At that point, it's necessary. Um, you can see it anywhere. You can see compassion everywhere, and you can see people wanting to project their pain everywhere as well. You see a lot of compassion, you see a lot of projections of fear, you see a lot of unworthiness still out there. This is what we're still doing. But AI isn't helping us really tap into our own consciousness, our own technology, which is the soul, and fix this. AI isn't really helping that. AI can't help with that. It's not something that AI has the capacity to do. Ascension's our game. It's not a robotic game. That's our game. Right? So I need you guys to be able to hold one huge collective dream over here, which will have a truth that someone is coming to help you because it's true. Many have and are and will. And also hold that there are certain things that cannot be helped and beings won't help with. Those truths are both relevant simultaneously. So when you're doing the ascension game and you're trying to get truth in spiritual teachings, any teaching that says it's just one way or just that way, you might better run. You might better run because that also pulls you away from your power of free agency to choose a belief and then to heal that, the consequences of that belief, and then to ascend. That's what we're doing. We're choosing a belief in our own consciousness and power and free will. It's either helpful, it's either love or a call for love, right? And then we are using that. If it's a call for love, it's fear and all the variations and flavors of fear. And of course, if it's love, it's helpful to ascend with that. But what people are doing is it's this way. No one's coming to help us. Is that the truth? It's that way. Someone's coming and we should just sit back and do nothing. There's nothing we have to do because divine intervention is happening. I don't want you to take either of those truths because both of those things are happening simultaneously. You need to decide in your free will which belief system is helpful for you to ascend with. And hopefully, it's going to be a belief that is loving. That is loving and that is true, right? So the truth is what is loving. But simultaneously, don't misunderstand. Not everything here is love. Just because truth is love doesn't mean that everything here is truthful. Don't get caught up in those semantics and oneness teachings. It's like Advaita ad nauseum. You'll go into nihilism before you know it. It's not really great to consider or helpful when you start trying to find love in every single action. That's not what any of the galactic beings ever brought to you. That's not what Jesus said in A Course of Love or A Course in Miracles either. That's nothing but denial, because this is a place to explore love and not love. So remember, actions are created by us. What we do, that's our creation. And AI is a part of our creation, not source creation. Everything that source creates is just us. We are that. We are not our actions. We are not our creations. We, as innocent souls, created and loved by cosmic source itself. Right? Yeah, that's exactly it. Someone in chat said it's either love or distorted love. So don't detract or distract. Don't project from this either and go say, well, the council said this or the council says that. There's so many truths and there are so many lies. And it would be good not to distract, or what's the word they're saying here? I'm getting tired because I volunteered at a skating competition all day for my kid. It would be good not to be in denial, is what I'm hearing. Because when you're so deeply in denial in this way, then you start kind of utilizing spiritual teachings in a harmful way. Then you're like, well, God only creates love, so all the things that happen are also love. Right. So really, like I said, let someone come up and stab you and tell me if you feel love. Tell me if you want to ascend that way. I mean, some people have, and some people's wild dreams somewhere, maybe they would want to ascend or enlighten themselves that way. But it's not really realistic anymore. This is why the ages that you don't see too many true yogis around anymore, or gurus up in ashrams. You don't see that sort of thing. You don't see, you have people claiming they're Jesus, of course, but you don't actually have Jesus in form right now. You don't actually have Isis in form, in one form right now. You have multidimensionality, because it didn't work. That didn't work. So this idea that all your gurus are telling you that everything on this planet, including AI, is love. Okay. I would tell you like I tell my children. My children come to me and they go, but I know that already. And I say, okay, I love you. Choose your belief system wisely, is what I'm hearing from the council today. Choose your belief system wisely. Any questions about this topic? For those of you just coming in, we're talking about AI. which is completely out of hand, at least from the council's perspective. They didn't say it was good or bad. It's just out of hand. It's like so much of it in every single thing that we do. Right. I do believe I went over that answer insofar as how divine intervention works pretty clearly. The council answered that earlier in the channeling. Are they giving people downloads? Who is they? Who is they? Be very clear with me because I don't want to project on who I think you mean by they. Do you mean like galactic beings? Do you mean AI? Do you mean angels, gods, source, what? Other humans? Why didn't ISIS Inform not work? For the same reason any of the beings that came just back in the time where um, these fully ascended, like completely love-centered beings would come into form, people would either kill them or something would happen like that. And it didn't work anymore at that point for consciousness to project in that way. And also why it doesn't happen anymore is because we don't need that. Um, Jesus in particular, Isis, all of these beings that you love so much, they don't want your worship. So there would be no need. The moment a deity comes into form and takes a form for you and takes that fall for you, um, you would typically tend to worship them. This is what humans do. They're like, oh my gosh, I've never felt anything like that. Bow, right? And worship. Um, and the experiment of religion doesn't go far. So that's why um, these beings don't come back in that same way anymore and reincarnate. Can AI help us instead of the council? I don't know. You should go ask AI. Was that a real question? Because if you want AI to help you, you're welcome to it. It's everywhere. But the council is here to tell you the ultimate truth about what is really going on. AI could have any motive based upon the belief system of who created it. You could create your own if you understand the technology, right? But the council has your human soul at it's gonna, what's the word I'm looking for from them? It has your interest, the interest of the human soul at heart. And AI would have the interest of whoever created it. So, AI counsel, AI counsel, your true soul and best interest for your human nature, or yeah, I might make some money. Really, because that's what AI is like, make you faster, better, stronger, et cetera, et cetera. Counsel, completely heal your soul. It's, do you see what I'm saying? You really, if you don't want that, I'm not sure why you would also even be listening. Because then your intention would only be on what you can do as a form. AI is about form, and mind is a part of that form. So it's helping you bigger, better, smarter, stronger. That's a part of the system. Duh, 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 duh. Counsel, heal the soul so that you don't have to be bigger or better because you're already loved, you're already worthy, you're already beautiful, you're already that. Do you see the silliness of the question? It shouldn't even be a question. Yeah. Who is doing the divine intervention? Source. Now, what is angels? Angels are messengers of source. They don't experience what we experience. So I'd say most of the time, 90% of the time or so, they stay clear. They stay clear, but they don't want you to pray to them. They don't want you to bow to them. They don't want you to be like giving them all that power. They want to help you return to source. They want to help you find your power. ETs, they're playing the game along with you. They're all in the ascension game too. So they're going to have agendas too. You could speak to some seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th dimensional ETs, but then this is what the human mind does. It says, no, I don't want a seventh dimensional being. I want a ninth dimensional being. I don't want a ninth dimensional being. I want a 23rd and a half dimensional being. Like, what's it going to take for us to even listen? What's it going to take? Right? So, this is all I have for today. Thank you so much. Don't forget about the offer for the free Egyptian Akashic record review by me. It is personalized, and I will look at your picture and I will go into your Akash and give you the karmic pain point and show you what I see about what you've mastered already. It's been a lot of fun so far, but it is a limited offer. In order to get that offer, click at the top of the chat. It's all there, but you must be a Patreon member and not an old one or a returning one, but a brand new ever Patreon member. And what I mean by that is if you've never been a Patreon member before, then you get the offer. Or if you've been with us for June, July, and August consecutively. For new people and loyal, 3-month long, June, July, August, 2023. For those of you who see this 6 years later, 2023, this is dated, and the offer ends soon, very soon. We're going to be closing because it's getting to be a fairly big offer, so we'll be closing the doors to that pretty soon. Take it while you can. I only do about 1 or 2 free programs like that a year. Patreon is, for those of you who don't know what it is a vast library of hundreds of channelings, classes, spiritual development, Q&As, sound healings. We have spiritual bonfires there where people get to know each other. We have so much. You get your own Facebook group, your own Discord, of which I am a member, and I go in there and talk to people and connect one-on-one with people there on the Discord, and in the Facebook group, you get where you can ask about what you've learned or ask questions about classes. You get that as well. But primarily just the channelings that don't end up here. I do channelings here 1 to 3 times a week. I do channelings there 2 to 3 days a week. And it's also not just like something I've just started. This library goes back from 2017 until now that I've been doing that. So you have a lot to catch up with. $13. $13 is all that it cost to become a member for all of that content. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thanks for the few of you who have continued to plug this question to me about AI. And I kind of went, I don't know how I'm going to explain cosmogenesis to you, because cosmogenesis is beyond oneness teaching. It's beyond Advaita. It's beyond anything that was created by a human or any being. It's the nature of the cosmos. It's not even something that even one person can attempt to teach. It's difficult to understand because it's like trying to be inside of the mind of Creator. So I'm happy that the Galactics came in and gave us a really clear interpretation of the true cosmogenic nature of Source. And because otherwise it just gets so hard. It's just a big spiritual bypass, to keep thinking that everything is good or bad or everything is all love. It's everything, everywhere, all at once. So many beliefs, so many things. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.